Okay, now we're recording, and I'm so sorry about that, but I am gonna record this from my phone because, in fact, I'm gonna find a way to prop this up real quick, because the internet here is just unstable, and so we're back. So welcome, Julie. Like I was just saying, we are going to. I'm gonna let Julie, not Judy. I'm gonna let Julie introduce herself. Tell us where she's from, how long she's been a Stella&Dot stylist, and all of those fun facts before we kind of dig into leadership lessons and things that she has learned along the way. And I'm gonna fix my phone as we're talking. Okay, go ahead, Julie.
Hi, guys. For everyone watching this back, I am Julie Kraus. I'm from Westchester, New York, so about 25 minutes north of Manhattan. And I'm a little interesting because I'm now a director, and I have been with the company. I never know what to say because it would have been 5 years. It would have been 5 years, but I deactivated for a little while. And a lot of people don't know that about me, but yeah, so it's an interesting part of my kind of journey. Life got really crazy and I deactivated, and I'll talk about it a little bit as we start talking, but I think for me, a lot of it was mindset, and that has been huge for me from the beginning, from even, before I deactivated to coming back, and then what I've done since then.
So when you originally joined when?
I originally joined, I always know because I was 8 months pregnant with Olivia, my first, who will be 5 in December. So yeah, almost 5 years ago. Whatever, I can't do that math today. But
okay, so that's when you deactivated or when you very first signed up?
That's when I very first signed up. And then it was about maybe almost 3 years ago that I came back now.
Okay, so you deactivated for 2 years.
I deactivated for 2 years, yeah.
So when you came back, obviously, first of all, you came back for a reason, because this is super intriguing to me. You came back for a reason, but then you must have wanted to do things differently. So what did you change? Why this time it's actually stuck? And did you have a team before when you deactivated last time?
I had a team of 2, okay. And that was it. And when I came back, I started from scratch. So I kind of dabbled a little bit when I came back. I had my kids really close in age. Callie and I were just talking about that offline, and we were moving kind of like Callie is right now. We moved from Baltimore to New York. I had my kids really close in age. We were living in my parents' basement for a year while we were on the show Property Brothers. There was so much going on. So by the time our house was finished and we moved in, and I had these 2 babies, and I was like, I am going to lose my mind, and I need something. I wanted to be home with them, but I needed something. So I joined again. That was that was August. And then I kind of I did pretty well through the holiday season. And then come that January, the trip to Mexico was announced. And I really, really wanted that. And I really wanted to make a certain amount of money that year. And I looked at my husband and I told him I'm going to do that. And I did that, and I surpassed it, and I went to Mexico. And I promoted from 0 to associate stylist, senior stylist, star. And then last November, I went from star to director in the same month.
Wow. Okay. So you obviously, well, first of all, what's the Property Brothers story?
Oh, what do you mean?
What did you do on Property Brothers?
We were on it. Have you watched it on HGTV?
Yeah.
Totally. So we were one of the family, they renovated our house that you see. This is an addition, but this, the kitchen, living, they did our house.
So fun.
Yeah.
See, you learned all these fantastic things about people. And okay, so I'll have to go back and YouTube that and find the episode of Julie Kraus on Property Brothers. Okay, so, but Wow. So you obviously don't have some kind of magic wand that wave over your business, because that's the one thing that I found when we're doing all these master classes is that no one has like the magic recipe, but you must have done something. So what were some of the things that you did when you decide, like the trip comes out and you're like, you look at your husband, you're like, I want to do that. So what were your first like actions? What was your
Yeah.
intent?
So I really just started talking to everybody about Stella&Dot. I got excited and I felt motivation and I felt inspiration. And I think a lot of the time what happens is we're inspired all the time in this community, in our lives, reading a book, listening to a podcast. And then we kind of almost like dies off a little bit. And then we're like back into like just our normal day to day. And I just didn't let it die off. And I put it into action. So I sponsored like 6 people that month and launched them all really strong. And then the next month I promoted to associate stylist. Then I went senior stylist to star the next month in February. And what I did is I put myself out there. I sponsored a ton and I booked shows. Like really that was what it came down to. But it was also like this, I'm like pretty shy, like just like a shy person. A lot of people don't realize that about me because I put myself out there now, but I just made it a point to like get out of my comfort zone and share and not worry about what people thought of me, because that was my biggest thing. I was so worried that people were going to think that I was like just trying to sell them something, or I just wanted them to join my team, or everything was about Stella&Dot. And once I put that up on the shelf and just did me and put it out there and not worried what people thought, that is when I started to see the success.
I love it. So, and I think you're right. Like so much of our own like inhibitions exist in our own mind, and we create this, like Brene Brown was talking about in Hoopla, like the story we tell ourselves. So
Yeah.
who are these people that you were talking to? You obviously weren't talking to them before. So did you start with friends and family? Did you already have a little bit of a customer base and you just literally started texting and calling everybody? Or was it more of like the people you ran into every day?
So at first it was friends and family, because I hadn't really built anything yet, but they were the people who were right in front of my face. It was the girls in my new mom group. A couple of them joined. I was talking to my sister's best friend and she didn't join, but she was like, maybe my mom would like this. And her mom joined. So it was really like the people I kind of already knew because I didn't have a customer base. And now the people I'm sponsoring, now we've grown, and the people that I'm sponsoring, I'm meeting at trunk shows for the most part. It's a combination of people I've known in my life, people I met at trunk shows. And this is like one of my biggest things right now. And I really, really, really believe that this has helped a lot. I have put myself out there on social media. And I think by doing that, people see that like this is just a part of my life. It's part of what I do. It's not on a separate account. It's on my main Instagram page. And I'm doing, trunk show diaries on my Insta stories. I'm interviewing new stylists on my Insta stories when I go to their launch show. I'm, talking about how excited I am when something new comes out. I'm sharing promotions, tagging my team members. So all those things, people are watching them. I'm going on Facebook Live. Like those things, I think people see me and they're like, wow, like Stella&Dot's awesome. Like that's really just, you love it so much. So I think that when you start to put that out there, it does come back to you.
Man, I think you're so right, because I actually came across your Facebook Live that you did. You guys, this was a genius idea with the Always Tank and the Addie Poncho. So can you tell them like what your thought process was? Like you were going out of town. Like how did you come up with that idea? Like how do you decide, okay, this is a good thing to talk about or this is not a good thing to talk about? Because I feel like sometimes it has to be perfectly planned and everything, but tell us about that, because I thought
this is actually one of the I listened to a podcast and they said it was about leadership, and he said the best leaders, when they think of an idea, they don't wait to perfect it before they put it into action. They take action on it. So I've been acting on like a lot of impulse, and a lot of my sponsoring reach outs are impulse, and booking reach outs are impulse. A lot of my Facebook lives are impulse. So it's super scary. On my VIP page, it's no problem. I'll go on all day. I don't care. It's more of a safe
You
zone.
went live on.
I went live on my personal page. So here's the thinking behind it. I was about to leave for a trip. I was literally packing up my family. This was last Friday. But my always tank came in, and I feel like this tank in pictures, it's okay, but I feel really strongly about it. I really like it. And so, you know, I like to try to kind of focus on something when I'm doing a Facebook Live. And I was, you know, putting my Addy poncho over it for the plane, and I was trying to plan some outfits around it. And I was thinking, what the heck? I should just quickly hop on, do a Facebook Live, and just show everyone this tank because I love it. So I did like a kind of a theme around it because I was leaving on my trip, and I needed to pack in one getaway bag because Spirit charges you for everything. So I didn't want to be charged for a bag. And so I was like, I'm packing everything in a bag. I'm going to have a few outfits around this. Why don't I just hop on and show people how I'm making different outfits out of this? So I have my heritage scarf, my Addy poncho. I showed how that converted, and I had a leather jacket. And I showed a few different ways to make outfits based on this tank top. And I was really excited about it. And I think people really saw that excitement. And so it was kind of, I think people just kind of caught on to it. And I got orders for both the tank and the Addy poncho. But I also had things in my Facebook Live that weren't Stella&Dot. So I was showing how I pack, you know, in these little travel cubes. So I linked my Stella&Dot stuff, but I also in the comments linked those travel cubes and the leather jacket that I was wearing that wasn't Stella&Dot. So I was showing how it kind of incorporated into my life, and it was super impulse. I did not plan what I was going to say. I just hit play, and I was like, I hope this is good.
And how much, like, what was the feedback? Like, how much did you sell? What were the comments that you got? That type of thing.
So I sold, so it's interesting with these Facebook Lives and things, and when you put posts up, because you think like you're going to get so many orders, right? Well, I got three orders for the tank. I got 2 orders for the poncho, but my team members shared my video and they got orders for it. And I have people who are telling me that this is on their wish list. So people are watching. It doesn't mean that they have the money to purchase it right now, but it definitely gives me a reason to reach out to book if I know they have it, or if they've commented on my video and have liked it. I can say, hey, thank you so much for watching my video. I can open up the conversation, and then maybe they'll say, oh my gosh, yes, I love that tank top. And I'll say, let's get together. I have a couple more dates left in October. Let's get it for free. So it generated interest for sure.
Well, yeah. And also, if you were a stylist that was sitting at $0 for the month and you needed to go qualify, I mean, you sold $500, a couple Addy ponchos and some always tanks. Like, that's close to $500. That's a qualifying, I mean, by just sharing. And that's what I loved about it, is that you were taking what you were already doing. You didn't create some Instagrammable background. I mean, I watched the video. You're like, hold on, let me reach in my suitcase right here and grab the jacket that I'm wearing. And, women are watching this going, oh my gosh, I can relate to that. And how does she actually pack in that? And you're right. Like, sometimes we overanalyze everything. And so we take zero action because the actions. So would you say that's like a big thing that you did, was just start taking action in the conversations you're having and being impulsive about reaching out to people and doing, Facebook Lives? And like, what has the response been from your team?
So yeah, so my team loved the video and they shared it, right? So like a lot of them said, like, can I share it? And they sold stuff, and that's awesome. But I think that they have seen that is something that they can do, and it wasn't necessarily perfect. And we've been talking about the power of social media just to like prospect and whatnot. And so, I think that is the thing. It's like the stop thinking and the more doing. And that applies to not only like social media stuff, but I mean, the real bulk of your business is going to be in your 10-4 tracker, right? It's going to be in your reach out. So I had 0 trunk shows on the books. I had 1 trunk show on the books for October last week. And because I put 42 names on my, tracker, I now I think have like 5 or 6 that I have to input for October. So it's not all going to be the social media stuff, but it's just the idea that you're putting action and you're putting them in different places. And I'm not doing Facebook Lives all the time because I know that's not going to be like the end all be all, and that's not going to be like the way I want to run my business, because I have to have for myself 4 in-person trunk shows a month, sell, at least 5,000, and, sponsor 2. That's always my goal. So I know that my highest value activity is going to be in my 10-4 tracker. And in order to follow that, it is action. That's the only thing that you can do, because no one else is going to be reaching out to people for you.
Absolutely. So you've mentioned that a couple of times, 10-4 tracker. Is that how you keep up with who you're reaching out to? And like, how many people would you say that you're talking to, to book? So you had 0 trunk shows in October. You came up with a list of 42, started reaching out to them. And words to say, are you keeping it are you a simple words to say girl, or a ton of pictures girl?
I love when I see other people's words to say, because they're so good. And I always say, I'm not a word crafter. I'm not great at words to say, but people know that I'm excited about this stuff. Like the tank, that they see my excitement, they hear my excitement. Yeah. They know I love it. I'm already putting myself out there. So when I'm reaching out to them, they're not like, who is this girl reaching out to me? It's like, oh yeah, Julie loves Stella&Dot. She wants to bring it, to show it to all my friends. So I'm keeping it super simple, and I'm saying things like, we need to do a trunk show for you. Have you seen I need to send you, the new digital lookbook. I have these 2 dates. My calendar's filling up. Let's get you on one, and it's going to look different for every person. I'm not a copy paste person, but it's always going to be very simple, simple. So literally, it's not that, it's a little messy, and, I have notes next to people, but I have 43 names. I need to start a new tracker, and I'm following it. And, honestly, maybe it's not exactly 48 hours after the first reach out that I'm always following up, but it's certainly reminding me, oh crap, I didn't reach back out to that person. So it's, I need it all in one place. And I actually keep it in my planner so that I have it all the time, so that it's easy. This is I have my little planner here. I just stick it in there. So, and when you do the social media stuff, that is new people to add to your list. Anyone who likes or comments on a Facebook Live video, if they're not a stylist, those are people to add to your list that you're like, oh my gosh, I totally didn't even know they were watching my post. So there is power in social media. If you're feeling like you have no one left on your list, I encourage you to hop on Facebook and do something.
Yeah, you're exactly right. I think it's a great kind of litmus test of who's paying attention, who's watching, who's engaging in my business, and a great way to refresh your who do you know list. So sponsoring, you're meeting most of your potential stylists at trunk shows. Are you talking about the opportunity in your group hello, or are you a one-on-one kind of girl? What's your go-to for?
Yeah, so it's both. So I am, before my group hello, when people are coming in, I am not even around the jewelry. I am talking to every single person before my group hello. So I am finding out if they have kids. I'm finding out how they know the hostess. I'm finding out what they do for a living. I'm relating to them somehow. Oh, I have a daughter also. I have a son also. Oh, I used to be a teacher. So we're talking. We're not talking about Stella&Dot. We are talking about them. So that way, when I've found out a little bit about them during my group hello, I can relate back to them something that I can make it personal for them. So this is how I kind of, I'll maybe throw oh my gosh, you should totally do this. You remind me of myself, or, someone who's looking at all the stuff and loving it all. I'm like, you should totally do this. I started because I wanted, all of this. And I'm giving them an opportunity brochure right then and there. So that's my one-on-one stuff. But in my group hello, I'm saying if there's a teacher in the room and there's an accountant in the room, I'm telling them about my journey with Stella&Dot. That's actually most of my my group hello is talking about my journey with Stella&Dot, what it helps me pay for, to talk about that.
Okay.
And I tell them about my team. So I say like on our team, and if you don't have a team, if you're listening to this, like talk about your greater team, not necessarily people on your team, like who are under you, people who are on your greater team. You know, and we have such a great community. We have, you know, teachers on our team, and I'll look at the teacher in the room. We have, you know, we have an accountant who recently joined, who, you know, who loves this as a balance to accounting. We have a doctor, you know, so that way I'm looking at the people who have told me they have certain professions, and now they're maybe thinking, oh, really? You have accountants that do this? You don't just have to be a stay-at-home mom to do this, or just do this full time. So, so I'm making it really personal. And I'm going to tell you guys something that I haven't told my team, and I've never, if Danielle ever gets a hold of this, I didn't do group hellos until August.
Until you
do group hellos to August. I was super shy. And it's so weird because I used to like be on stage. I was like in musical theater. I don't know what it is. And since I started doing them in August, first of all, I had a lot of trunk shows, but I was number 3 in sales in the company in August. And I promise you,
Hi,
we're back.
Okay, sorry. Okay. All right, and so you promise us what?
That it has something to do with, I mean, I had a lot of trunk shows, but it was because of my group hello. And I booked a lot of trunk shows, not only because I was talking about and I sponsored a lot. I sponsored I think I sponsored 9 people in August.
Yeah.
So it was because of, I was out there doing trunk shows. It was because of my group hello, and I was booking more for my group hello also. So it was working for me in so many different ways. And I think the other thing is, like, when people feel like they really get to know you, I think that they trust you more when you say, hey, like, let's exchange, let me send you a link with some info. Let me grab your number, and I'll text them right then and there. So we've like made contact. You know, so now they have my number, and I can text them later and be like, I really, really think you would be so good at this. Here's a link with some info. I'll follow up tomorrow.
So I think that the kind of like the Facebook Live, I think the group hello is very similar. I feel like stylists think if it's not perfect, I don't want to do it. So then I don't do it. And, but for you, that's been another like huge thing. It's a small, what I'm hearing from you is that you haven't, when you deactivated and then reactivated again, I don't feel like you like completely overhauled everything you were doing. You just made some small tweaks. Like you started talking about it more. You were more intentional. You're maybe a little bit more impulsive with who you're reaching out to, but you also put yourself out there and started talking.
The biggest one. That's the biggest one, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
it's putting yourself out there, but it's also like taking action. So it's like the combination of those things. It's the actual like, all right, I have an empty calendar. How many people have I actually reached out to? Okay, let me do a Facebook Live real quick, and let me get some more, let me just see, you know, some more people I can add to my list. But it was really a combo of those two things, and putting to the side what the story I was telling myself that people were going to think I was annoying if I did put myself out there.
Yeah. So to be honest, do you still have moments where you get worried about what other people think? And
of course.
And so then like, how do you overcome that? Because I feel like it's a big.
You just do, and you just keep doing. And I promise you, so interesting, because the feedback that I get is so overwhelmingly positive and has brought so many like new people into my life that I've reconnected with, that I have to, like, I'm constantly reminding myself of that. And it also, when you put yourself out there, you don't realize it, but it inspires other people to put themselves out there. And all of the great things that I have done have resulted from putting myself out there. I really believe that. I really do. So of course we have those moments, but when you are so focused on what you're doing, and when you're so busy with what you're doing, and when you feel like it starts filling up your life with positivity, the amount that you think about those things becomes less and less and less, because you don't have the time to, because you're booking, you're sending out evites for your trunk shows, and you're coaching someone to hit their quick start, and you're earning trips. And so it's like you just start shifting your mind to other things because your life fills with other things.
Oh my gosh, that is so good. And you are so exactly right, because I feel like the stylists that I talk to that are having the most difficult time and like they're in their own head, I'm always like, the trunk show is the best cure to that. Get out and do it, because then you don't have time to worry about it. And so
Yep.
Oh my gosh, so many good nuggets, Julie Kraus. Thank you so much. I know we have a couple girls that are on. Does anyone have a question for Julie that they want to ask? I know Amanda's on. Amanda just had a baby.
Oh, congratulations.
Like little her second.
Thank you. I'm actually feeding her right now, so I'm trying to like only show my face.
I don't care. I know all the people, people watching back, but been there, done that. I'm all good.
Special surprise when they watch it back.
Multitasking, and it's fine.
So Julie, thank you. I'm gonna I'll send you the link as well so you can share with your team.
Okay.
And if anyone has questions, they can comment and tag you. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
Yes, thank you. Y'all have a good day.